Test, test, test. Right, today I'm going to be doing a re-reaction to an album that is probably one of my favorites of all time. This is Radiohead's In Rainbows. This is the first Radiohead album that I ever listened to. This was my introduction to Radiohead. It's probably my favorite Radiohead album. I guess we're going to find out today. Released in 2007, many people love this album. Many people regard it as one of their best, and I'm hyped to be doing a reaction to this. To dive in deeper, I'm going to be looking into the lyrics deeper. I'm going to be dissecting it a little bit deeper, listening a little bit deeper, and yeah, let's get into it. All right, so here we are. We have the lyrics to my right for you guys. We have the track down here. And we're going to get into this. This is kind of similar to the Blonde reaction that I did because that wasn't the first time that I heard the album, but I was kind of diving into it deeper and getting a deeper kind of appreciation for it. So we're going to be doing the same with this album. I don't think there's much else to say. First track is 15 Step, and we're just going to get right into it. Let's go. That drum beat is just ear candy, bro. Love the bass line in this song. The little minor like switch ups and changes are so good. Bring the vocals in. That bass line. The textures. Like that drum beat. And this groove. That little scream sample. Bro, that song is a journey, bro. That song is I gotta admit, that's one of my least listened to tracks on the album. But every time I do come back to it, it just reminds me of how so textured and just visceral it is, especially that drum beat. Those drums, how they're not super distorted, but there's a little bit of distortion on there, and they just sound kind of, they got that kind of crunchy sound to them, if that makes sense. Love that visceral kind of feeling. I love Tom's vocals on this. I said this video is going to be looking into the lyrics more. I didn't really look into the lyrics that much on that one, but how come I end up where I started? I mean, it's a lot of Radiohead lyrics are up for, it's very abstract and up for interpretation. So maybe I won't go into the lyrics that much on this album. Maybe just, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this video goes. But yeah, it's a great opener. I love it. Like I said, I feel like I've honestly kind of been underrating that song a little bit. The little minor switch-ups in there, like I said, the guitar sounds, the guitar tones, the bass lines, super fun to listen to. And I just love Tom's, energy in the vocals, too. It's not these insane screen vocals or anything, but you can still kind of feel that energy in it, which I love. And yeah, we're going to be moving on to Body Snatchers, which is another kind of more aggressive track, I guess you could say, on this album. An album that is kind of full of more mellow tracks. This is definitely one of the more aggressive ones, so let's get into it. Again with the texture.
I do not understand.
Sure. This part, Oh. Switch up. Those drum fills. Love the distortion on his voice there. Like here. Da 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 da. There you go. That was Body Snatchers. Like I said, one of the more definitely in-your-face, aggressive tracks off of this album. Love the groove on this. Love the drum fills. Love, once again, just like these interesting guitar sounds, the way they use them where it's like almost used like a synth or a drone somehow. I love the distortion on Tom's voice at some points. Overall, it's just like a hard-hitting, in-your-face, aggressive, energetic track. Yeah, on an album like this, like it's crazy because it's mood-wise, I feel like it's pretty different to a lot of the tracks on this, but it really doesn't feel out of place at all, in my opinion, on the album. Yeah, I think it's great. I would say I think I like it a little bit more than 15 Step, but it's pretty close. They're both two great songs. And we're going into another just absolute classic here, Nude. Yeah, let's get into it. Complete switch up of mood and tone on this one. But it just works, bro. It just works. Cinematic strings, haunting vocals, nice laid back drum beat. Love that bass line.
Don't get it. Big ideas gonna burn. You paint yourself white and feel annoyed.
Oh, this song is so peaceful, bro.
Now that you found it's gone. Now that you feel you don't.
Again with the guitar textures, just
You gotta throw. So don't
we're just floating now. These kind of more sinister strings in the background, and then these strings come in, brighten everything up for a second.
you go to hell for your dirty mind is thinking.
One of the most beautiful songs Radiohead has ever made. I don't know if you guys know, you probably know who this channel is. Turning the Tables, obviously. Kevin, the dad from that channel. In Rainbow's reaction, he has a great kind of way of explaining this song, and it's kind of like someone starting off nude, naked, like the title, Nude, and just slowly and progressively putting their clothes on, and at the end it's revealed that it's this nice, fancy, elegant tuxedo or suit, and it's this kind of just slow process, but then once it's revealed at the end, you see that it's this beautiful, nice suit. I don't know if that analogy makes sense. Yeah, I like that analogy that he came up with. Actually, it works really well for this song and the sound of it, in my opinion. Yeah, it's a slow builder, or slow burner, I don't know what I'm saying, but it's beautiful. I love the grouped kind of vocals. They're super haunting. I love the guitar textures and sounds once again. Super laid back drums, but they do such a good job at filling that space and the nice little intricate drum fills every once in a while. And yeah, the melodies are just absolutely beautiful. Like the vocal melodies as well. It's one of Radiohead's best songs in my opinion. It fits perfectly on this album after those two kind of more aggressive tracks to start the album off. It's this kind of nice moment of peace within the album. And it's amazing. So yeah, if you can tell, I like this album. So let's keep going. Also, I never knew what the lyrics were to this song. And I just really like the kind of the opening line, don't get any big ideas, they're not going to happen. Yeah, kind of just portraying disappointment and letdowns. And it's a really, really depressing but hard-hitting opening line there. And Genius classifies that as a chorus, I guess. It's a great song. Let's go into Weird Fishes / Arpeggi. I've never known how to say it, but this is also an amazing song. So let's go. Let's get these lyrics. Crazy how this drum beat has been going this whole time, but it doesn't get repetitive at all because the guitars are building and changing.
In the deepest ocean, the bottom of the sea.
Like, this drum beat is still going. It's insane.
Why should I
Now it's being played with a little more intensity, you know? Feels like it's building.
They tell me how the earth fall. Yeah,
The building, the layering,
I get eaten by the worms and weird fishes. Picked up
cool kind of keyboard synth in the back. Okay, before we go into the second part, this whole first half has had the exact same drum beat the entire way through. I feel like this song is like a perfect example of how to use repetition in a good way. Because once again, it's the same drum beat for how long? How long has this been? 3 minutes and 30 seconds, pretty much. I mean, it did kind of cut out now, but like 3 minutes of that drum beat, and it doesn't get boring at all. So there's times when it's played with, like, they play it with more intensity at some points. There is little drum fills that do change every once in a while, but pretty much the same drum beat. But it's just the guitars, the way those are building on top of it, the more layered vocals that come in as the song progresses. Like, Yeah, this is just like the perfect way to use repetition. And then this switch up. And like, this shouldn't work, but it does. Little bass line. That's probably my favorite part of the song, is that bass line. As Brad Taste would say, this should be illegal. This should be illegal. There's no way something should be this good. Like I was saying with the drum beat in the first half. The second half, same thing. It's the same drum beat for the whole second half of this song. Or second kind of third of this song. But it doesn't get repetitive because of the way they build on it. The intensity that builds is just amazing. It's so freaking good. Holy crap, bro. That's another top tier Radiohead song for me. It's just, I think the guitar part's probably one of the most fun to listen to out of any Radiohead song. Love that bass line that comes in on the second half. Do 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 do. Super groovy. Let's just keep going because I could talk about that song all day. So keep going. All I need. Kind of vocals over this. Like, it's those little things that just add so much. I never knew those were the lyrics. Animal trapped in your hot car. That you choose to ignore. String embellishments. Just wants to share like some glockenspiel, I think. Piano comes in. What do you want me to say? Huh? I'm looking at you, Brian. I know there's a Brian watching this. What do you want me to say? I know I'm supposed to be the reactor here, the commentator, but there's nothing to say. I was thinking during like the first couple minutes of this song that this is probably one of my least favorites on the album, but that outro just makes up for it every single time. When the heavy drums come in, the builds, that glockenspiel kind of still going on. I would have to listen to that again because I'm trying to recall every single instrument that was going on, but it's just so layered. The amount of stuff that's going on at the end of that track is insane. Super just climactic, loud ending. It's another amazing track. Keep going. Faust Arp. It's crazy how this only has 19 million streams. It's like by far the least streamed on this album. I think it's one of the most beautiful on this album. I mean, it is pretty short, but of the strings. Another really good guitar part on this too. Guitars, so good. It kind of surprises me that that's the least streamed on this album, like by far too. I mean, Videotape's kind of close with 24 mil. This is 19 mil, but like, I don't know. It's probably one of my favorite tracks on this, to be honest. The guitars sound super nice, super peaceful sounding. This is one of those tracks that feels like a lot more bright sounding, if that makes sense, compared to a lot of the stuff on this album, because a lot of the tracks on this are very depressing and very just depressing. This one kind of has there's something about it. Maybe it's that opening line of "Wakey, wakey, rise and shine." I think every time he says that, every time I listen to that and that opening line comes on, it kind of just puts my brain into a different place, puts me into a different place. This track has kind of like a different feel compared to a lot of Radiohead tracks, because a lot of Radiohead tracks are pretty depressing and dark and sad and all that stuff. Heavy imagery in these lyrics, so they could be depressing and, but in terms of the sound of it, it just puts me in a different place compared to a lot of Radiohead tracks. So I really like it. In case you couldn't tell. Let's keep going. Reckoner is up next. Scared me. Super cool percussion on this one. Piano chorus. Switch up.
Because we separate ripples on a blank shore.
The melodies, yo. The strings. Bass line that comes in. Holy. That's another song where it's pretty repetitive in terms of the percussion, the drums. But it doesn't, like, that does not ruin the track at all, and it doesn't make it boring at all because of all the other stuff going on top of it. Like the luscious string arrangements, the beautiful guitar playing, the beautiful melodies, Tom's vocals. It's perfection, bro. And even though that percussion is very repetitive, it's so interesting, and like just the rhythm of it and just the energy of it is just like, I don't even know, bro. I could just listen to that percussion and be entertained, honestly. The shakers going on, the different, like, it's so good. I don't know how people think of this, bro. Let's keep going. We're going into House of Cards. 3 tracks left. The atmosphere of this track is crazy. Very reverby vocals. That little, like, I don't even know what that is. I love that. Using those guitars almost like strings. It's genius. Pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good song. Very atmospheric. Lots of reverb. I didn't really say much during that one. I kind of just got lost in it. But I've also never really looked into the lyrics of this one, but it is definitely about someone who's in a relationship and I guess Tom wanting to be with that person. Maybe it's not Tom, maybe it's just someone, I don't know. But forget about your House of Cards. Obviously, House of Cards. Why did I just get like choked up? House of Cards being representative of that relationship and how House of Cards isn't sturdy. So this marriage or relationship might be unstable as well. Yeah, infrastructure will collapse. Talking about the relationship once again. Throw your keys in the bowl. Cause yeah. I like the song lyrically. I like it musically a lot. So many, like, it's definitely one of the most, I wouldn't say stripped back, but laid back tracks on this, and atmospheric and meditative on this album, and slow, definitely. It's definitely not for, like, an impatient listener, but if you just take everything in, there's just so many little things going on they can latch onto, because everything is just being executed, like, perfectly and played to such a high level that everything is just, every little individual part is, a joy to listen to. So yeah, that was amazing. We're going into probably one of my favorite Radiohead tracks ever, Jigsaw Falling into Place. Let's just vibe, okay? Let's just enjoy this. Let's vibe. Love this melody to start off. Like, this is just a perfect song right here. Ugh. It's so good. Baseline. Oh. Love when they do that with vocals. This one's so visceral.
Just as you write my number down, just as the takes a ride. Just as they play your favorite songs, your battery disappears. No one will wind up like a spring before you had too much, before you come at all. Between the notes, the beat goes round and round. The beat goes round and round. It really got me. I just pretended that I wasn't playing instruments. As I set up shotguns, come on and let it out. 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 Jigsaw falling in a place, so there is much to explain. You eye each other as you pass. She looks back, you look back. Not just once, not just twice. Wish you were lying there. Wish you were lying there. You got it on, you can feel it on your back, and you can feel it on your back. Jigsaw falling into
I'm dizzy, bro. I'm so dizzy. Why did that song do that to me every time? Like, I just have to move to that song. The drums, the guitars, the bass line, the everything about it. The like sliding vocals. I don't know how a song can be so intense but so beautiful at the same time. Like the level of energy that track has, but also just so aesthetically pleasing and musically, sonically pleasing to the ears and beautiful. Like, it's crazy. It's probably, I wouldn't say my favorite Radiohead song, but it's up there. I would say it's top 5. Definitely top 5. Why is it not liked? Huh? Bruh. Last track, Videotape. Oh, I'm really dizzy from that last track, actually. Oh, I kind of got too into it. This track, obviously, being kind of about death when I'm at the pearly gates.
to grab me. This is one for the good days, and I have it all here in red, blue, green, and red, blue, green. And you are my center when I spin away, out of control on videotape, videotape.
I hate to pause it, but I just read Genius. When you are my center, when I spin away, out of control on Videotape. As soon as he says out of control, that's when that kind of syncopated drum rhythm kind of comes in and kind of captures that out of control feeling. Never noticed that, but it definitely makes sense. Once again, you don't know if they were going for that, but it's just kind of a cool observation.
when talking to you before. No matter what happens now, you shouldn't be afraid, 'cause I know today has been the most perfect day I've ever seen.
Like this like delayed kind of stumbling drum beat. Like it's kind of off the beat, you know? Yeah, a very chill, a very kind of like sad ending to this album, which is not uncommon with Radiohead albums. They usually have enders that are about death and lyrically very depressing, and musically the way that sonically that instrumental kind of echoes what's going on in the lyrics is kind of insane. As Genius said, out of control, and the drums come in, it kind of creates this out of control feeling, but also this very repetitive and very like woozy and like stumbly, like the drum beat feels kind of not super on the beat, and it's a little bit late on the beat. I love the piano chords in there. His melodies are like, it's just a super emotional vocal performance from Tom. And yeah, the drum beat is kind of the thing that, I mean, the piano chords too, but the drum beat is kind of the thing that ties it all together and kind of creates this very depressing feeling on this track. Like this is, for me, this is up there with like True Love Waits in terms of like depressing Radiohead songs. Obviously the track being lyrically about death, but musically, once again, it echoes that sentiment so vividly. And I love like even just simple things like referring to having his memories on video, but I have it all here in red, blue, green. Like, I don't know. It's just simple things like that I enjoy in the lyrics of this track. Overall, this album is just, like I said, it's my favorite Radiohead album. I put it as my favorite in my Radiohead tier list ranking, and it still is. I don't really see any album taking it over. Maybe if I overplay it for myself, which I hope I don't do. Right now, it's my favorite. It's been my favorite ever since I've discovered Radiohead. It was the first album I discovered. And yeah, like just the grooves on this, the visceral feeling on some of these tracks. I think it has Tom's best vocal performances there. I said it. This is the best Tom vocals on a Radiohead album. His voice, like it's matured. It's just, I don't know. There's something about it, and there's something about the melodies that he comes up with too, and the fact that they do a lot of kind of grouped vocals. Like the vocal layering on this album is very dense at times as well. Yeah, so I think vocally it's probably their best album, Tom's best work. Musically and instrumentally, I think it's their best album as well. The melodies, the rhythms, the grooves that they come up are so instantaneously catchy, but also, what's the word I'm looking for? They don't get boring when you come back to them. Like they still feel new. They still feel, I don't know. There's something about the rhythms, the melodies, like I said, and just the textures too. This album is super textured in terms of the guitars, the drums. There's some electronic elements to it as well. The lush string sections I forgot to mention. I don't think there's much else to say. This was fun doing this video. Let me know your thoughts on In Rainbows down below. Is it your favorite Radiohead album? Is it your least favorite? I doubt it's your least favorite, but it's amazing. There's not a single miss on this album. This is, out of all the albums I've listened to in my life, this is one of those where there's not like, I know people say all the time, this album has no skips, bro, but this one legit has no skips. Like legit no skips. I mean, there's no like interludes at all. I mean, Faust Arp is kind of an interlude. It's the shortest track on here, but it doesn't feel like an interlude to me. There's no skips. They're all perfect songs in my opinion. If I had to give this album a score, it would be a 10 out of 10. This is one of my very few 10s. And like I said, it's Radiohead's best album, in my opinion. That's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys for joining me. If you did, if you made it this far, thank you as well. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this listen through of In Rainbows, this experience. This wasn't a breakdown as much as I thought it was going to be because I didn't look at the lyrics that much, but it was just an experience. It was a nice vibe. If you want me to do more of these videos where I re-listen to albums and like my favorite albums, re-listen to them, dive into them deeper, let me know down below. I would definitely, if I do this more, I've done it with Blonde, I would definitely want to do it with To Pimp a Butterfly. I would definitely want to do it with, what else? That might be it for now, honestly. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you did. Leave a like if you want, subscribe if you want. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Radiohead, In Rainbows. It's a 10. Bye.